Something was standing outside my bedroom door in total silence for 4 whole minutes. I had absolutely no idea it was there until I checked the camera footage 6 weeks later. I've lived alone for most of my adult life, so I'm pretty used to a quiet apartment. This all started about 2 years into living in my place in Portland, Oregon. 2nd floor, 1 bedroom, small bathroom. The kitchen was barely big enough for 1 person. I kept my stuff pretty minimal. Bed, TV, a small couch. The kind of place where after a while you just know every sound it makes. The fridge had this hum that kicked on at random. The pipes would click twice every morning before the hot water came through. And in the hallway, there was this one specific floorboard, 3rd one down from the bathroom. It made this high-pitched creak, almost like a squeak. Couldn't step on it without setting it off. I'd gotten so used to it that I automatically stepped over it every single time I went to the bathroom at night. It was just one of those things you stop noticing after a while. One night in January, I was lying in bed around 1 in the morning, not sleeping, just on my phone with the lamp off. The heat was running loud. It was genuinely cold outside, like actually freezing. I remember thinking I needed to reschedule a dentist appointment I'd been putting off for weeks, and that I was also almost out of paper towels. Then I heard the creak, that exact one, the 3rd floorboard. I put my phone down. I told myself it was the building settling. Old buildings do that, especially when the temperature drops outside. I'd convinced myself of it before. But then the creak came again, slower this time, more deliberate, like someone was placing their foot carefully, not wanting to make much noise. And then footsteps, slow, bare feet on hardwood. I know what that sounds like. I've walked that hallway 1,000 nights. This was that exact sound, coming from the bathroom and moving toward my bedroom. And then it stopped, right outside my door. I could not move. I stared at the ceiling. The gap under the door was dark. Nothing was blocking the nightlight I kept plugged into the hallway outlet. But I can't really explain the feeling that came next. The air in the room felt different somehow. Heavier, like when you're in a room alone and you just somehow know someone else walked in. 4 minutes. I counted the seconds in my head because I didn't know what else to do with myself. I kept losing count and starting over. Somewhere around 200, I just stopped. Then the footsteps slowly went back down the hallway toward the bathroom. And then nothing at all. I didn't check the hallway. I laid there with the blanket pulled up until it was light outside. Then I got up and looked everywhere. Closets, under the bed, behind the shower curtain. The front door was dead-bolted. Nothing moved, nothing missing. I told myself I imagined it, but it happened again. 3 more times, always after midnight, always stopping at the bedroom door. The 4th time, I ordered a cheap camera online and pointed it down the hallway before I went to sleep. I texted my friend Karis, who lives in Sacramento, and she told me I was going paranoid. Maybe. I set it up anyway. The next morning, I pulled the footage up on my laptop. There was a man. He came in through the bathroom window, the one facing the fire escape. I had never locked it, never even thought about it, since it's the 2nd floor. He climbed up there, came through the window, walked down the hallway in the dark, stopped outside my bedroom door, and stood there, listening. Then he left the same way he came. He never touched the handle, never knocked. He just stood there and listened. I called 911. I was so shaken I gave the dispatcher the wrong cross street twice. She was patient, I was not. Shit, I couldn't even get my own address out right. They caught him 2 days later. When they searched him, he had a notepad. On it was a sketch of my apartment, a rough floor plan, and notes, my schedule, what time my lights usually went off at night, what time I left in the mornings. Police said he'd been coming in for 6 weeks, not 2, 6. I thought it started in January. He started in December. I moved out about 3 weeks later. I've been in 2 other cities since then. First Denver, then Austin. I still check every window before I sleep, every night without fail. I still don't know what he was planning to do. Maybe he was still deciding. Maybe he was working up to something. I don't know. I try not to think about that too much. But sometimes I'll hear a sound in the hallway at night and I'll just count.